Hello there. I don't know why I feel rested. I haven't had much sleep lately. I wanted to make another one of these because I make an ongoing list of things that I've learned in life, and people seem to like and appreciate the life lesson videos. Things that I could say for definite certainty that I've learned are, well, nothing shy of absolutely true. Some of these things I took to heart early on in life. Other things I learned the hard way, meaning the wrong way, because they weren't taught to me. One thing I wished I'd done more of, and it would have made me more successful. Of course, there are many different definitions of success. Success is having at least a little bit of time to yourself in life, which I really don't have. Making connections with people. There are, and you can confirm this if you think about it, some of the dumbest people on earth that are highly successful. And the reason why they're successful, and sometimes it's because of luck, and sometimes obviously it's because they inherited great granddaddy's oil field or something like that, is because they've made connections. They've done a lot of networking in high school, college, and those connections stay. It's like, hey, how you doing? Daddy is looking for an executive position for United Petroleum or something. So some extremely dumb person will, fall backwards, into a really nice career and, have a nice life with a wife and kids. So that's something that I wished I had done that I completely failed at. I admit my complete and total failure on that front of networking with a lot of different people. I didn't grow up as a recluse, but I had no brothers or no sisters, and I didn't develop connections with them. I mean, everybody I met, honestly, I can actually say this, everybody that I met is just abusive and just weird, and people that you would not want to know. So kind of led a solitary life on that front. So that's something that you should do that I completely failed at. Need to learn to diversify your skills. That's something I did do at an early age. You should learn how to solder. Soldering. I've got two soldering irons over here. You should also learn how to completely use, and I was just using it a minute ago, use a voltmeter. Yeah? Soldering and knowing how to use a voltmeter go hand in hand. You could do your own electrical connections. You know how to check stuff and test stuff, and fix things. So incredibly useful. And it's actually multidisciplinary, and then it actually crosses over into other aspects of your life. This is something I did not suffer really at all, and this is a really important one. I see a lot of people doing this, is don't pour money down a black hole. You pour money down a black hole, it means you're not going to get it back. I can think of a few things like that. Electronics, buying electronics or toys that might, entertain you for a little bit or a while. A really big black hole that people throw their money down is cars. I mean, you could just a bottomless pit of like upgrades. I'll see people, they'll like work really hard. They'll take all their money and they'll stick it into their car and their upgrades. It doesn't improve or add to the value of a car 99 times out of 100, one bit. So it's just a black hole to throw your money down. You should learn to love what actually makes you money, honestly. I kind of learned, because ages ago when I was a teenager, I bought desert scrubland out in Utah. And man, it paid off really good. Not like big bucks, but it's pretty significant. So and also too grew up buying gold and silver bullion. I was not the best speculator on gold and silver, but I got pretty good on looking at stuff. But that was at a really young age. I wished I was taught a really, really important message, but schools are not places where you learn anything important. And that is that you should, instead of learning how to make money, which is what schools and universities do, learn how to make money. We're going to give you this skills so you could go out and make money. Instead of learning how to make money, You should learn, and I learned this lesson late in life, pretty much. But learn about money. Instead of learning how to make money, why don't you teach people about money itself? And I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not actually, pushing, greedy, greed mongering at all. The only reason truly to have money is so that you have time to do the things that you would like to do in life. And I've completely failed at that. Honestly, completely and totally, really completely and totally failed at that. I have neither time nor money. And to be both very intelligent as wise as I am, that's kind of sad on many fronts, especially for me. So, and I know I failed at that. I completely confess to having failed at that. That's the only reason to truly have money. Some people, of course, are greedy, want more and more money, but desire to have money. Not true desire, as an unending desire, is that you're like, hey, I'd like to have the time to spend with my friends and my family, or my dog, or my children, and my wife. Marriages often fail over money. I forget what the percentage of what marriages fail at due to money, but it's really high. It's just the stress becomes unbearable. Not that I would know. I mean, I was married for 10 years, but my wife died of cancer. But I know a lot of marriages fail due to that. So wanting to have money to be comfortable so you can have time, because that's what life is about. It's about spending your time wisely, doing things hopefully that are wise and beneficial to you. That includes, relaxing, once a week at least, which is something I've totally failed at. Can't take a day off. Being able to relax, being able to spend time with your loved ones, being able to have time to think and read. That's important. That's the only real reason to have money. So ultimately, it is. Some people just like more money, more money. And they'll work harder and harder and harder to make more and more money. You're not going to take it with you when you die. No. Take that to heart. Here's one I've talked about endlessly. Don't listen to your teachers. They're fools. There are a couple good teachers out there, but it's like 1 in 1,000. Actually, it's like 1 in 10,000. Teachers are fools, as the old saying goes, those who can't teach. Do not listen to your teachers. Don't do it. It's not to say there aren't some good ones out there, but there's not many. Don't listen to your teachers. I never listened to my teachers. I knew this lesson totally at a very young age. I knew all my teachers were fools. I was way smarter than them and definitely way wiser. Did not listen to them. Thankfully, I did not. I knew what fools they are. So, honest to goodness, I really do mean this. Don't listen to your teachers. They're about brainwashing you and indoctrinating you. They're not really about raising you up intellectually. They're not. I don't care if that upsets somebody, but teachers really don't deserve respect. I'm sorry if that upsets you, but I'm not going to take it back. They don't deserve respect. 99 times out of 100, they do not. Read gold in what's going to sharpen your mind. Don't read trash. Everybody should be able to relax and read like some sort of science fiction book or something like that. As a form of relaxation. I'm not saying that, but there are so many books out there, and 99.999% of them are trash. Of course, it depends on the topic. I have an almost magical ability to weed out trash from treasure when it comes to books on any subject. I'm really, really, really good at that. That's one thing I'm very happy to be blessed with, is that some people will read a whole book or get 60%. This book's horrible. I think you spent weeks reading it. It took you it took you 300 pages to realize that book was garbage. There's so many people out there like that. I could thumb through a book literally 9 times out of 10 within a minute and determine whether it's any damn good or not. Literally, I do mean that. So read gold. Life is short. Time is short. Read what will sharpen your mind. Here's something I've completely and totally failed at that you should not fail at like me. Don't do what I did and work all the time and not have a life or a family and kids. I don't have a family. I don't have kids. I wished I had kids, but I don't. I did have a wife. She's dead. But now, now he's at my age. Don't be somebody like me on that front. You should get married young. The older people wait to get married, the more jaded and awful they are, and the more likely the marriage will fail. People are happy and fulfilled getting married young, honestly. Leading a wholesome life, with a significant other and, a rugrat or two. Don't do what I did and work all the time and not have a life, Don't do what I did. Here's one, because I'm so nice, that I failed at many times, but I'll never fail at it again, because I've had my fill. I failed at this because I'm really too nice, and I do mean that. Don't suffer these time vampires. There are many different names for it. Time vampires, emotional vampires. They leech off of you. They suck your time and your life away. There's this old movie called Life Force, and they're these like outer space these outer space vampires. You can see like these this flow of energy where they're sucking the life out of these people. They grab a hold of them and they suck the life out of them and they leave a husk. There really are people out there like it. I've met many of them. I was really nice to this really horrible guy in Europe for like a year and a half. So nice to the guy. Insanely helpful. Just rude, awful, emotional, time-sucking, emotional vampire. That'll be the last time in my life, now that I'm 48 years old, that will ever happen to me. It's happened to me many times. And it really does happen, only happen because I was so nice to people. I'm not saying be rude and tell everybody to get lost, but recognize these people very, very quickly and get them. Doesn't matter what text, shut them off, block them, don't talk to them, ignore them. Get them out of your life, because your time is yours. You have a limited amount of time in this life. Don't do what I did, It's good to be nice. But don't ever let these people latch onto you, because they're leeches. They're like emotional leeches or emotional vampires. Here's the most important premise in life. I failed at this and also too greatly succeeded, depending on which avenue. Working hard instead of working smart. There are people that work really, really hard and they get nowhere. They're just a slave to their jobs. They have no life. Well, that sounds a lot like me, doesn't it? They just work all the time. Working smart is important. If you spend 30 minutes thinking about something before doing it, before working hard, people just like, I'm just going to work hard, get paid, and go home and have a beer or whatever, plop on the bed, and then repeat it the next day. The whole life is over with in a blink of an eye. All they do is just work their ass off, go to work, and come home. And that's the reason why their marriage fails. The wife's like, you don't pay attention to me anymore. I'm guessing. This never happened to me, but I know it happens. Oh, you don't pay attention to me anymore. All you do is come home, drink a beer, and plop. It's like, I'm sorry, honey. I work 6 days. Then the marriage fails, and, they get divorced, and there might be a kid or two or something like that. And working hard, while admirable. No, work smart. Always think it out and work smart. 9 times out of 10, I've always obeyed this, mostly because I don't have any money. 9 times out of 10, buying used is way more satisfying. It saves you a ton of money, saves you a lot of stuff, but you need to know about what it is you're buying. If it's stuff that you're going to buy and resell and make a job out of, you need to become an expert on it. I've become an expert on many things that I bought and resold in life. I was like the consummate expert that everybody came to. Like, this guy knows everything about these. But 9 times out of 10, buying used is way more satisfying than buying it new. It just is, and it saves you a lot of money. So remember that. I've never owned a new car, and I don't care. There are a lot of people that make one heck of a living by following this really. You can say, well, it's importation. Well, import-export business, okay, fine. We could say that, but that doesn't explain anything. People go where things are really, really cheap and then take them to where they're not cheap. Talking about legal stuff here, okay? Don't get your mind on anything else. Talking about legal items. I've done that. I knew that if I applied myself, just as a recent example, all these alligator skins. I mean, I spent over $2,000 on alligator skins, but I quadrupled my money on them. Um, I basically, imported them from Florida and brought them up here, and I made cool stuff out of them. There are people that travel the world just buying like amethyst or lapis lazuli. Like they'll go to Nepal and Kathmandu, and they'll buy like a ton of it. And they'll bring it over here. They'll sell it for like 10 times. I mean, these are not smart people. Only thing they do is they hitch a ride. They might have to pay some import duties. They make arrangements for export. They'll bring it over here, like take it to the Tucson Mineral Fair. They'll sell it for a fortune. These are not smart people. They will make, with one airplane trip, I know one person that does this, with one airplane trip, these people will make more money in 1 week than your average Joe makes in a year, sometimes in 2 years. And these are not smart people. They go over there, they negotiate, they bring cash with them, they have a security guard sometimes, depending on what sort of sketchy place they're in. They'll find the local dudes, that have extracted it from the mines. They paid the poor miner like nothing, so they themselves have nothing in it. Not that this is it, and they'll sell it for a huge profit to the exporter. And these people bring it over here, and then they make a fortune off of it. That is working smart. Think about getting into that business. I've thought about it many, many times myself. I have done that on a few things. Not recently, however. Do not get into the money. Excuse me. Do not get into the game like I did early in life. And working for somebody else. Not that that's a horrible thing. I mean, people's first jobs are working for somebody else. Usually, don't make your life into making money for other people, while they throw you crumbs. I mean, it's just a dead end. I was in Walmart today, I kid you not. There's this nice old dude working in Walmart. I was talking about how evil Amazon is. Like, Amazon isn't that bad. I used to work there. And this is so funny. He told me, when I worked there, they worked me to death. I was like, I thought you just said you liked working for them. Yeah, let me tell my story. He would tell me a story about how many items he had to pick per minute. Like one item would be all the way over on this end of the warehouse, and the next item would be all the way over here, this end. He says he couldn't do it, and he complained to his boss. Like, I literally can't do that. I mean, I'd be dead. And they're like, oh, well, it all evens out in the end. It's like, well, no, it doesn't. So he was telling me I'd still work for it. I said, why would you just got done telling me how horrible working for Amazon is. Yeah, but the benefits were really good. Oh, God. Oh, this guy's working in Walmart. I mean, he's not that smart, obviously. Definitely not smart. A nice guy. This guy's been taken advantage of his whole life. He's just working for the man. People like that, they never have to turn their brains on. They just like, time to get up, sip my coffee, and go to work. And then they come home and drink a beer and plop in bed. And wake up and repeat it. Like, boop! Next moment, your life is over. And I know you're not going to, it doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, you're not going to take any of that stuff with you when you die. I mean, I know that. Having time to do the things that you'd like to do and spend time with your loved ones and stuff, I mean, that's important. I have failed at that myself, but at least I don't work for other people. I work for myself. That means the only person to blame is in my mirror. But that's okay. That's better than making about, because I have, through life, made a lot of money for a lot of people. Let's take Fujifilm, for example. I love the Fujifilm cameras and stuff. I made this company God knows how many endless millions of dollars. I say that because I do love it and I spend my own money on it, but they don't give me anything. There's like the worst job in the world, and it's not a job. I don't work for them. I'm making them tons of money, and I don't get anything out of it. Not that I am asking for anything. I mean, that's just a kind of an obtuse example, but it's kind of what everybody does. But I mean, earlier in life, I did a really good job working for people. I made them a lot of money. I just get crumbs. No appreciation, no job security, no benefits, no health care. I still don't have health care. So work for yourself. Obviously, do a better job than I've done on some of the things that I've failed at. So these are important life lessons that are undeniable. You should apply them to your life, because I can tell you what, right now, they're absolutely true. Do not also, too, be careful of these emotional vampires, because they're out there. Okay? Thanks for watching. Hope you like these videos. If you do, any donations always warmly welcome. Or you can tell me how much you hated this video. I always read every comment. Sometimes I regret that, because people say really nasty stuff, but I read it anyway. Thanks for watching.